It was just crazy situation. Till this day, I still get upset with what happened. Assalamualaikum, my name is Karai. I'm a lifestyle content creator. I post on my TikTok, my Instagram, and my YouTube, but I mainly post on my TikTok. And if you guys want to watch more short videos and stuff like that, check those out. I am back on YouTube. First time I was on YouTube was back in 2022, because that's when I moved out of my parents' house. And I was back on YouTube consistently, and then I stopped doing YouTube again. It's because I was scared. I get very scared when I start something, especially like talking on the camera, doing anything that has to do with the camera. So I literally just stopped and was like, yeah, I can't do this, you know, I'm not getting enough views and stuff like that. But lately I just been loving recording and just being back on here and just talking more. And with my videos on TikTok, they've been longer. So because they've been longer, I wanted to make it as YouTube videos back in the day. And like, hey, why can't I just make these videos longer and people could just check me out on YouTube if they want to know more and longer videos. So that is what I'm doing. I'm back here, and today I'm gonna do it, just tell you guys like what has been happening in my life, a little bit of updates and stuff like that, where I have been, what I'm gonna continue. So my name is Karai. I am 25 years old, almost turning 26 in December 18. Yeah, and I am a wife, a mom, and I do a full-time job, and also I go to school. Moved out of my parents' house, and when I moved out of my parents' house, it was like, honestly, when I came back from Nashville, I just wanted my own space. I just wanted to be able to just be who I want to be, because living in my parents' house, I really didn't feel like I could be the person that I wanted to be. So I moved out, and I went back to school, and when I went back to school and I moved out, I was also working. Like, I was working. I started working when I was like freaking 17. I wanted to work since I was 16, but then they were like, no, we won't hire you because you're 16, stuff like that, right? So when I was 17, I applied to my first job, and I was like, I'm going to stick to this job for a hot minute until I graduate high school or whatever. And I did that, and now I'm here. So I've been working since I was 17. I'm still working till this day. I love working, but I want to do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to work for something that I don't love doing. Like, I like my job now, but I want to work in my career goal. So that's why I went back to school. When I first went back to school was back in COVID year. And when I went back to school, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I was like, I'm just going to go undecided, because people go undecided. Or a high schooler, if you wanted to go back to school, do not go back to school undecided. Figure out what you want to do for school. Figure out what you want to go for school, then go to school, because people will get you by telling you, go undecided, you could do that for 2 years, stuff like that. No, don't listen to those people. Go to school because you know what you want to do, and you don't want to pay a hefty price, because that financial aid will always not be there. Trust me. I went to school undecided. I failed my classes, and honestly, it was so horrible. I was just like, oh my golly gosh. And I was like, bro, I need a better advisor. I need a better life. I need to be able to just know what I want to do. Still going to school to this day because, you know, there was just some hiccups. So when I moved out of my parents' house, I moved into my own apartment, moved in with roommates, had so much fun, and then I got married. And we got married back in August of 2024. And honestly, now we have a baby girl. So after marriage, we wanted to wait for a little bit, like a couple of months, not like too long. And then we were like, I want to get pregnant, you know? So we decided to have a baby. And when we decided to have a baby, my pregnancy was going, oh no, I would say my pregnancy was just not it. Alhamdulillah, I have my baby girl right now, but pregnancy was not it. I had some complication, and my baby was due early. She was 28 weeks early, and it was just a horrible thing. And at that time, I was also doing content. Like, I was doing a lot of fitness content, but then I got pregnant, and I was like, oh, I can't do these videos. I was gonna be that girl that was like, oh, I'm gonna get pregnant, I'm gonna start working out still, I'm gonna do all these things still. No, I got pregnant and I slept. Or you told me I was sleeping. Then got some complication during my pregnancy. I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. Preeclampsia is something serious in pregnancy. Crazy situation. Till this day, I still get upset with what happened with my pregnancy. And the only reason why I figured out that I got preeclampsia was because my feet were swollen. I didn't know what preeclampsia was, but apparently preeclampsia is due to your feet swelling, your hands swelling, your face swelling up. And I was like, you know what? I hope in my third trimester my feet can go down and stuff like that. Hi, I am Karai. For this channel is going to be my update of my pregnancy. If you guys do not know, I am pregnant. These are the experiences that I've gone through my pregnancy from my first trimester and my second trimester, and things that I hope don't stick for my third trimester. First trimester, I told myself that I was going to continue recording and, you know, start like just continue recording, do the little updates for my pregnancy, and then post them after I give birth. Now, I did my first video. After that, I did not record anymore because I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. Like, I had sciatic pain my first trimester. My hip was hurting so bad. And then on top of that, I had nausea. And not the type of nausea that we are thinking about. Not the one that we're thinking about, like, oh, I have nausea, I'm throwing up, da da da, stuff like that. No! This nausea is, I am sick. I feel like I want to throw up, but all I feel are clumps in my throat. Yes. And then, what else? What else I experienced my first trimester? Food aversion, my best friend. So I was not eating. I thought I was able to drink a lot of water. That really was going well for my first trimester, drinking a lot of water. Then I had my second trimester was the nausea, the food aversion, the sciatic pain, was still there. And then my feet got swollen. No, they just kept swelling up. And alhamdulillah, my appointment was literally on a Juma, and my husband wanted to come with me. And I think he wanted to come with me because like I was prescribed with aspirin because I had a flu. When I had a flu, I had a high blood pressure. I was dismissed as nurse in the emergency room. She took my vitals and she was just like, it's just the flu. Maybe you just have high blood pressure because of the flu. Now, mind you, I was in that ER for like hours and hours and hours. And I was dismissed, took me back out to the waiting room, and I was waiting in the waiting room and they still didn't get you. This was 2 hours after. Because I said my blood pressure is high because of the flu, but you're not going to get me back in right away. So I was very tired at that time as well too. And I had to go to work the next day. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go home. Next day, I go to work and I get out of work. We will go to another emergency room. And we went to the emergency room and they got me really quick. They were just like, yeah, go to your primary provider. So I went and then I went to my clinic and my husband wasn't with me this time. I told her about my flu because she seen on the thing and she's like, and I see that you left. Like, well, I left because it's like they took a long time to come get me. Like, why would you take a long time to come get me? So yeah, I'm gonna leave. Right there, she told me, okay, well, I must prescribe you some aspirin. Your blood pressure can go down. But my feet started swelling up more. Every time I elevated my feet, they just kept getting bigger, like to the point where I was just like, oh, y'all, this is not normal. And then I visited my auntie. At this time I visited them because we haven't seen them for a while. She was like, oh, niece, your feet are so swollen. Are you sure this is nothing else? Like, I don't think so. Like, a lot of people get swollen feet when they're pregnant, right? And she's like, yeah, but this is like more serious. This could be like preeclampsia. And I was like, preeclampsia? She's like, yeah, preeclampsia. And I'm like, what is preeclampsia? She's like, it's something that's serious and you're gonna have to be on bed rest. Mind you, I was working a lot. So I was like, oh, bed rest, cool. I mean, I get to be in bed for the rest of my pregnancy, right? No, honey buns. No. She's like, no, that's not good if you're on bed rest. And I was like, okay. So then my appointment was on Fridays. Then Friday came up and my husband came with me because my husband had questions. Why was I prescribed aspirin? When I go to the clinic, they take my vitals. My blood pressure was spiking. They checked my blood pressure again. It was spiking some more. So much to the point where they were just like, what is going on? My provider came in. And my provider came in and she took my blood pressure again. And then when she took it, it was spiking again. She was like, okay, if your blood pressure keeps spiking like this, you're gonna have to go to the ER because this is something serious. If your blood pressure keeps spiking like this and your feet look like this, because my feet was swollen, like if you touch it, it feels like there was a lot of fluid. She was like, if your blood pressure keeps spiking like this, you're gonna have to go to the ER and you're gonna have to get admitted. I was like, okay. So then we waited and she took my blood pressure again. Like, yeah, you're going to have to go to the ER. And I was like, and my husband was like, no, if you go to this ER, we're going to be seen quickly because the last time we went, we waited there for hours. And then she was like, no, I'm gonna call them right away and I'm gonna tell them that you guys need to be admitted right away. We went to the ER and then they were like, oh, can I declare? Yeah, you're on here. So I sit down and they're making us wait. And then one of the doctors had to come downstairs and was like, no, this girl needs to be admitted right away. The doctors said that she needs to be admitted right away. So I go into the little room and they check my blood pressure again. My blood pressure, y'all, just keeps spiking. It did not want to go down. Like when it spikes again, it gets to the point where they bring all these doctors in and they sit down. They tell me, so because your blood pressure is spiking, we think this is preeclampsia. Now, but because this is preeclampsia, we're gonna have to admit you to the hospital until the baby's due. Mind you, in June 27, baby's due in September 23rd, and I'm only 28 weeks. And I was like, I'm gonna have to stay in the hospital till the baby's due. They're like, yeah, till the baby's due. I look at my husband, and then I'm at this point, I'm freaking out because I'm like, what? And then they reassure me that the hospital is not like jail and that I get to do whatever I want, stuff like that. Y'all, I was so worried. I was like, oh my God, like, who's gonna tell my boss? Who's gonna tell my mom? And I'm smiling right now, but I'm just like, I am smiling right now, but it's not nothing to smile about. But I was just freaking out. They get me admitted. For me, on magnesium. Have you ever been on magnesium? You know how that goes. Magnesium is disgusting. It's horrible. Your whole body feels hot. Like it feels like to the point where you're just like, what is this? Am I dying? That's how it feels. So they put me on magnesium. And then when they put me on magnesium, they put me in other like, you know, IVs and stuff. Like take me upstairs and they monitor me very closely. And they keep giving me pills after pills. They're making sure that baby's okay. Then they come back like, okay, we're gonna try to make sure that baby doesn't come out till August 12th. I'm like, I thought it was September 23rd. They're like, it looks like she can't be able to stay there for that long. We're just gonna try to keep her and make sure that she comes out vaginally. We're just trying to make sure that we don't get a C-section. We do not get a C-section. And I was like, okay, cool, bet. Stay in the hospital. June 27, keeping an eye on her, keeping an eye on me, making sure my blood pressure is down, making sure baby's heartbeat is going, making sure everything's okay. Baby's heartbeat is not okay. Tell me I'm gonna have to be induced. Baby's heartbeat is going down and we cannot wait that long. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I just kept accepting, you know, like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I saying, no, you can't take my baby out? So I was like, cool, okay. July 3rd comes. They induce me. They get my epidural, they do all those things. And then baby's heartbeat goes down. July 4th comes and it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know this because I always wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I am waking up, looking around me, and there was so many doctors around me. And then they tell me to be a C-section. The baby's heartbeat keeps dropping. She's not coming. We have to get her out. I am looking around and I'm just like, where's my husband? Where's my husband? They're like, your husband's getting ready right now, but we need to get you in the OR right now. We go into the OR. Literally, they strip me naked. I am laying on the table. First thing I realized is the floors. I'm like, why are these floors so shiny? I am laying there and I say my shahada because I'm just like, I don't know if I'm coming out of this alive, but I just gotta say my shahada. Just let me know baby's gonna be okay. I'm laying there and I'm looking around. I'm just like, where's my husband? Where's my husband? And my husband was like right behind me and he holds my hand and I look at him and then they take out baby. And when they take out baby, she cries. Okay, cool. She cried the first time. So I asked my husband, is that her? And they're like, yeah, that's her. And then the anesthesia is like, I'm going to have to put you down. And I'm just like, no, I want to hear her cry one more time. So then she cries again. And that's when I go to sleep. And that's when I say Shahada again. And then I wake up. And I wake up into a little like recovery. I gave birth at 28 weeks. I was still on magnesium, mind you. Like, I was still making sure my blood pressure was okay. So they put me back on magnesium. They were just keeping an eye on me. My blood pressure, y'all, was just spiking even after I gave birth. So then they come into the room and they tell me how to do a C-section. I did the C-section that was up and down. Well, my understanding is that like I have to heal for 3 years in order to have another baby. And I also have to make sure that like when I do get another baby, they have to keep an eye on me because of the preeclampsia that I had. So then I had my baby, and after I had my baby, they're just telling me the preeclampsia, it might still be there, it might still creep up. I think like I was on like freaking pills for a long time, and my baby was in the NICU for 2 months, and it was just very, very hard, like very hard. When I first went home without my baby, I looked at myself in the mirror and I was just like, I had my baby, but my baby's not here with me. And it felt so hard to sleep in my own bed without my baby. So I never really slept at home. Well, I was at the hospital day and night. On Fridays, we spent in the hospital reading a book to my daughter. She knows that we were there. I was never home. If I stayed home, I was crying a lot. And then I didn't go to work. I was on maternity leave. I didn't go back to work till like September 21st. I think my baby was already home at that time. So she came back home with us on September 3rd. And she came back home and she was on oxygen still. So at that time we had to be very careful. I really didn't know how to take her bath. And she's doing so good, alhamdulillah. Now she is 2 months adjusted age, 4 months corrected age, meaning because she was born, her development is a 2-month-old baby development. And she really is so cute, you guys. That's where I've been. That's my life update before I come back on here doing more content. And y'all, like the content that I want to do is more lifestyle content, mommy content, fitness. But inshallah, I'll be posting more content. Again, my name is Karai. People call me K-Ray. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.